Hey, what's the big idea?
Daydreams and fantasies are one thing, kid.
If it's whistling a tune or singing a song.
Some kind of a gadget?
There is a collection of cartoons that has been banned for nearly 100 years. Not restricted, not edited, not slapped with a warning label, but completely erased. Warner Brothers locked them away in the 1960s and has never released them since. No DVD, no Blu-ray, nothing. And here's the thing, most people alive today have never seen them and probably never will. And the wildest part is that these cartoons won awards when they first came out. Audiences loved them, studios promoted them proudly. Then the world changed, and everything those cartoons represented became indefensible overnight. This is the list nobody was supposed to see. 10 cartoons, 10 decades, 10 most controversial elements of every decade. And every single one of them crossed a line that the world never forgot. Number 10, Hazbin Hotel, 2020s.
Well, you're an important part of our family here, Angel, but
In 2019, an independent animator uploaded a pilot episode to YouTube about a princess of hell trying to rehabilitate demons. It cost years of personal savings and volunteer labor to produce. No studio backed it, no network greenlit it. And within months, the 31-minute pilot drew over 101 million views by February 2024. That animator was Vivian Medrano, and the show was Hazbin Hotel. What makes this show even more remarkable is the journey from that YouTube upload to a legitimate streaming giant. In August 2020, A24 announced they had picked up the show and planned to produce it as a full series. Then things went quiet again. Years passed. Fans grew restless. And then Amazon stepped in. The first season premiered on Amazon Prime Video on January 19, 2024. Produced by Medrano's company Spindlehorse in collaboration with A24, Amazon MGM Studios, and the animation studio Bento Box Entertainment. That is 4 major entities behind a show that started as one woman drawing in her living room. Behind the scenes, the production drama began almost immediately after the deal was signed. In December 2021, it was announced that the original 2019 pilot voice cast would not return for the A24 produced series. Major departures included Michael Kovac as Angel Dust, Edward Bosco as Alistair, and Crystal Laporte as Cherry Bomb. They were replaced by Broadway-trained actors such as Blake Roman, Amir Talai, and Alex Brightman. The argument from the production side was straightforward. This was now a professional musical series requiring union talent with specific vocal range. Then came the chaos no studio could have scripted. In early 2024, it was revealed that YouTuber Verbalace had allegedly spent $50,000 on a private, suggestive animated video featuring himself and the show's protagonist, Charlie Morningstar. The story went viral just as Hazbin Hotel premiered on Prime Video. But the timing was catastrophic. Verbalace later apologized, claiming the financial and social fallout had nearly ruined his career. The production team stayed silent and let the storm pass. Number 9, Death Note, 2010s.
I've been waiting for you. Oh?
The original manga launched in Japan in 2003, and the anime adaptation followed in 2006, but the controversy surrounding Death Note didn't peak until the 2000s, when its global reach expanded into regions that had never dealt with anime culture before. Death Note is among the most famous manga series in the world. It has sold over 30 million copies in Japan and was adapted into an anime television show that became popular with American audiences. But the controversy did not begin in America. It began in a school in China with a notebook. In early 2005, the manga stirred significant controversy in China after students in the city of Shenyang began creating their own death notes. Students began purchasing stationary notebooks and following the manga's premise, writing names of people they disliked on the pages. Schools treated this as a threat. Parents treated it as evidence of moral collapse. The Cultural Market Administrative Enforcement Department confiscated over 187 death notebooks from toy and school utensil stores in the city. Chinese authorities further banned stores from producing the notebooks, deeming them illegal products and threatening severe punishment. And here's the thing, the fear wasn't just about a fictional notebook. It was about what the story seemed to validate. The main character, Light Yagami, wasn't drawn as a villain. He was brilliant, composed, and driven by a sense of justice that millions of viewers genuinely agreed with, at least at first. That moral ambiguity terrified parents who believed the show was teaching teenagers that playing God was acceptable if you were smart enough to justify it. Meanwhile, the franchise printed money. The manga sold over 30 million copies worldwide. The anime became one of the most recommended gateway series for new viewers entering the medium. Number 8. Ren and Stimpy, 1990s.
First, I'm gonna tear your lips out.
In the summer of 1991, 3 cartoons debuted simultaneously as Nickelodeon's first ever Nicktoons. One of them was soft and sweet, one of them was about a family, and one of them was a psychotic chihuahua and a dim-witted cat. And here's the thing, when the Ren and Stimpy show debuted in 1991, it immediately became one of the most popular animated series on television. Kids loved the chaos, the exaggerated expressions, the disgusting close-ups, the screaming. But behind every episode was a production environment that Nickelodeon could barely control. During production, creator John Kricfalusi fought with network executives constantly. He submitted episodes late. He pushed content that censors flagged repeatedly. He inserted adult references and violent imagery into a show that aired during children's programming blocks and dared the network to catch all of it. Behind the scenes, the operation was fracturing. Nickelodeon had already reduced Kricfalusi's original work slate from 26 episodes down to 13, and even then he was missing deadlines. The breaking point came with an episode called Man's Best Friend, in which a character is beaten violently with a canoe oar. Nickelodeon refused to air it and fired Kricfalusi, along with most of the staff of his production company. Kricfalusi fired back, saying Nickelodeon was responsible for 90% of the late scheduling and budget overruns. The network handed the show to its own in-house studio and appointed Bob Camp to carry on. The show survived. The genius behind it did not. Number 7. Mighty Mouse, The New Adventures, 1980s.
It is with great pleasure that I present you with our highest honor.
Ralph Bakshi built his entire career on making people uncomfortable. He directed Fritz the Cat, the first X-rated animated film in American history. He made Wizards, a fantasy film loaded with rotoscoped Nazi footage. He adapted The Lord of the Rings years before Peter Jackson ever touched it. So when CBS hired him in 1987 to reboot Mighty Mouse for Saturday morning television, somebody at that network either didn't do their homework or genuinely believed Bakshi would play it safe. But he didn't. Mighty Mouse, The New Adventures was sharper, stranger, and more visually inventive than almost anything else airing on Saturday mornings at the time. Bakshi hired young animators who would later become legends in the industry, including John Kricfalusi, the future creator of Ren and Stimpy. They wrote the stories themselves, were allowed to experiment with visual styles and acting, and Bakshi protected them from network interference. That freedom had a cost in quality control, but it produced something television had not seen in years, a cartoon that felt alive. Until then, one scene changed everything. In an episode called The Littlest Tramp, Mighty Mouse appeared to inhale a powdery substance from a crushed flower. To the production team, the scene was innocent. To the American Family Association, led by Reverend Donald Wildman, it looked like a superhero snorting cocaine on children's television. In fact, the AFA claimed CBS had intentionally hired a known pornographer to produce a children's cartoon and then allowed him to insert drug content. Bakshi's previous work, the adult animated film Fritz the Cat, was the ammunition they used against him. Bakshi denied the accusation publicly and called it absurd. He argued the character was simply smelling the remains of a flower, which was visually obvious in context. Number 6. South Park, Cartoon Wars, 2000s. By the mid-2000s, South Park had already offended nearly every group imaginable. Trey Parker and Matt Stone had mocked religion, politics, celebrities, tragedies, and cultural movements with a consistency that made the show feel almost untouchable. But in 2006, the show crossed into territory that changed the rules entirely. Because this time, the controversy didn't come with angry letters or boycott threats. It came with genuine fears for human life. South Park episodes cost around $500,000 to produce. That relatively lean budget was possible because of the show's famous compressed production schedule, which allowed episodes to be written, animated, and broadcast within a single week. And here's where all the chaos started. The 2-part episode Cartoon Wars aired during a global firestorm over cartoon depictions of the Prophet Muhammad. In fact, a Danish newspaper had published satirical drawings that triggered protests across the Muslim world, embassy burnings, and multiple deaths. Into that climate, Parker and Stone wrote an episode that directly addressed the controversy and originally planned to include an image of Muhammad on screen. Comedy Central made the decision to censor the depiction entirely. The network replaced the scene with a black title card stating that the image had been removed. Parker and Stone were furious. They argued the censorship proved the exact point they were trying to make about fear overriding free expression. The controversy escalated further in 2010 when episodes 200 and 201 revisited the Muhammad storyline. This time, the reaction turned dangerous. A group called Revolution Muslim posted a warning on their website that was widely interpreted as a threat against the creators' lives. Comedy Central responded by heavily censoring episode 201, bleeping out entire sections of dialogue, including a final speech about intimidation and fear that had nothing to do with Muhammad at all. The original uncensored version of episode 201 has never been officially released. It effectively does not exist. Number 5. The Flintstones, 1960s.
Okay, Fred, let her go!
Before the Flintstones became a Saturday morning staple for children, it was a primetime show aimed squarely at adults. When it debuted on ABC in 1960, the network marketed it as an animated version of The Honeymooners. It ran for 166 episodes across 6 seasons. It reached syndication viewership exceeding 300 million viewers in over 80 countries. In 1961, it became the first animated series ever nominated for the Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Comedy Series. All of this success came with a sponsor attached. 2 of them, in fact. For the show's first 2 seasons, one of the primary co-sponsors was R.J. Reynolds Tobacco Company, makers of Winston cigarettes. That last detail is the one most people alive today have never heard. Fred Flintstone and Barney Rubble, 2 of the most beloved cartoon characters in American history, appeared in actual cigarette commercials produced as part of the show's sponsorship deal. The ads weren't subtle. Fred and Barney were shown sneaking away from household chores, lighting up Winstons, and praising the taste while their wives did the work. The characters looked directly at the camera and delivered tobacco marketing lines written by advertising executives at R.J. Reynolds. At the time, nobody blinked. Cigarette advertising was everywhere on television. Doctors appeared in ads endorsing specific brands. The idea of cartoon characters selling cigarettes to a primetime audience didn't register as controversial because the entire culture was saturated with tobacco marketing. Then suddenly, the audience shifted and everything changed. As the show's popularity grew, children became a larger share of the viewership. The tone softened. The humor became more family-oriented. When the Cigarette Advertising Act banned tobacco commercials from television in 1971, those Flintstones ads disappeared almost overnight. Networks buried them. Studios pretended they never existed. R.J. Reynolds moved on. Number 4. Fritz the Cat, 1970s. Robert Crumb created Fritz the Cat as an underground comic strip character in the 1960s. The cat was crude, reckless, and deliberately offensive. Crumb drew him as a satire of counterculture hypocrisy. The comics were never meant for mainstream audiences. They circulated in head shops, college campuses, and independent bookstores where underground art thrived far from corporate eyes. Then, Ralph Bakshi got hold of the material and decided to turn it into a movie. The result? A total disaster. And here's the thing. Behind the scenes, Crumb himself wanted nothing to do with it. Bakshi, on the other hand, didn't care. He secured the rights through Crumb's publisher and began production on what would become the first animated film in American history to receive an X rating from the MPAA. The budget was roughly $850,000. Bakshi worked with a small crew and leaned into everything the rating implied. The finished film featured content that no American animated film had ever attempted. It was so bad that the creator himself became one of the film's loudest opponents. Robert Crumb claimed in interviews that his first wife had signed over the film rights to the characters without his knowledge or approval, and he was deeply unhappy with Bakshi's adaptation. He later described the film as a distorted reflection of Bakshi's own psychology rather than a faithful treatment of his work. Fritz the Cat earned approximately $90 million at the worldwide box office against that sub-$1 million budget, making it one of the most profitable independent animated films ever produced. Number 3. Duck and Cover, 1950s. Duck and Cover was produced in 1952 by the Federal Civil Defense Administration in partnership with Archer Productions. The animated short starred a character called Bert the Turtle, a cheerful, helmet-wearing turtle who demonstrated the official survival technique for a nuclear attack. When you see the flash, Duck under a desk or table, cover the back of your neck, and wait. That was the message. That was the plan. And here's the thing. The government funded this cartoon as part of a broader civil defense campaign that included pamphlets, radio broadcasts, and public drills. Schools were required to participate. Children practiced the duck and cover position regularly, crouching under desks while teachers timed them. Air raid sirens became part of the school day, and at the center of all of it was a smiling, animated turtle making nuclear war feel manageable. Even at the time, some critics questioned the honesty of the campaign. Scientists who understood the actual destructive radius of nuclear weapons knew that ducking under a desk offered virtually no protection against a direct strike or even a nearby detonation. The temperatures, the blast wave, the radiation, none of it could be stopped by a school desk. But the government wasn't selling survival, it was selling tranquility. A panicked population was harder to govern than a deceived one, and duck and cover was the tool that made the deception feel friendly. Number 2. Song of the South, 1940s. Walt Disney personally championed this film. He believed it would be a landmark achievement in filmmaking. He spent years developing the project and invested significant studio resources into its production at a time when Disney was still recovering financially. Song of the South was supposed to stabilize the company. Instead, it became the one film Disney would spend the next 8 decades trying to make the world forget. The animation was based on the Uncle Remus stories by Joel Chandler Harris. Disney cast James Baskett, a black actor, in the lead role of Uncle Remus. Baskett delivered a performance so warm and charismatic that he later received an honorary Academy Award for it, making him one of the first black men to be recognized by the Academy in any capacity. The song Zippity Doo Dah won the Oscar for Best Original Song and became one of the most enduring melodies in American popular culture. But here's the thing, none of that saved the film from what it represented. Critics attacked Song of the South almost immediately upon release. The NAACP issued a public statement condemning the film's portrayal of black characters and its nostalgic depiction of plantation life. The concern wasn't about the animation or the music, it was about the framing. Uncle Remus was shown as a happy, contented storyteller living in a world where the brutality of slavery and its aftermath simply didn't exist. The relationship between the black and white characters was sanitized to a degree that critics called historically irresponsible at best and racially dangerous at worst. Disney's response over the decades has been total erasure. The film was never released on home video in the United States. It was excluded from Disney Plus when the platform launched. Number 1. The Censored 11, 1930s. Everything on this list exists in the shadow of the Censored 11. They are the oldest cartoons here, the most suppressed, the most internally contradictory, and the most instructive. The Censored 11 is the unofficial term for 11 pre-1948 Merry Melodies and Looney Tunes shorts that were withheld from United States television by United Artists in 1968 due to racial stereotyping of black people. Turner and Warner Brothers have continued to enforce the ban, and these shorts have not been released on any official home video in the United States. And here's an interesting fact. Some of these cartoons are now approaching 100 years old, yet they have been banned since forever. In fact, some of them are closing in on a full century of existence with no legal way for the public to watch them. During productions, characters were drawn with exaggerated features, stereotypical behavior, and dialect comedy rooted in the dehumanization of black Americans. The behind-the-scenes tension within these productions is where the story becomes genuinely complex. The most celebrated of the 11, Coal Black and DeSeben Dwarfs, was born out of genuine artistic engagement with black culture. Clampett's inspiration came after he saw Duke Ellington's 1941 musical review, Jump for Joy. Clampett wanted an all-black band to score the entire cartoon, the way the Fleischers had used Cab Calloway. Producer Leon Schlesinger refused, and the black band Clampett hired only ended up recording the music for the final kiss sequence. The art celebrated black performers with one hand and caricatured them with the other. In April 1943, after some episodes ran, the NAACP protested the caricatures in Coal Black and called on Warner to withdraw it. In the end, the best cartoon in the Censored 11 is also one of the most racially offensive cartoons ever produced in America. Those two facts coexist. They have coexisted for over 80 years. Every entry on this list was controversial because it was honest about something. Not always in the right way, not always with the right intentions, but honest enough to make someone, somewhere, deeply uncomfortable. If you made it to the end of this video, you already know which side of that argument you are on. Drop a comment below. See you in the next one.